Good afternoon. It's still in the market. It's almost 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm pretty much done for my trading today. I'll keep an eye on the market, but I've had a good day, so I've kind of made up for the last 2 days and some. So let's just review the chart. This is a 60-minute chart, and we're looking at the MES. Not my pen. We're looking at the MES chart. So we can see today we had the CPI number in the pre-market. Where's my pen? Wait for the pen to open. So I point to it. So the pre-market was 8:30, the CPI number, and it was around here. So we saw the big push up and big push down, and it was pretty much neutral after the number was released. So let's have a look at the 5-minute chart, and that's the reason why I don't do any of my levels until after the any CPI. I think we've got PPI tomorrow as well. So 8:30 we saw this big push up here, and then it came all the way back down again, and it dropped right down to this area. Technically I should have gone long because it's coming into the zone. It would have been a starter entry at this point, and sorry, this is my daughter shouting her go off. And if it's in the normal market, I probably would have loaded up with starter positions and taken it as it's dropped down for the push back up. But in the pre-market, I treat it a bit differently, and it didn't touch that area. I didn't get in. I was a bit late, to be honest, so I kind of waited. I did take a couple of levels. I took the top of this CPI data short, and initially it worked out okay, but I was holding for a better rundown, and originally I had my trend line coming through, so it's right on the trend line as well. And it was I even said earlier it's like it's going to be a break. Let's put the trend line in. So the trend line, let's go back to the hourly, and it's, so the trend line would have been, I think it was there, the trend line possibly. I'm pretty sure that's what the trend line I was using, and in fact it was there, that was the trend line I was using. That looks a bit better. So going back into the 5 minute, you can see, so we got the top of this zone here, and we got this area I was watching as well as a potential bounce. And if you recall, I said also we've got this 200 moving average as well, and you can see exactly what happened. Look at that, it was right off of that 200. But I got chopped around to start off with because I was shorting the levels. I like to trust my levels. So I had this trend line area here. I was trying to go for a short, and why can't I clear? So I'm just trying to memorise what my trade was today. So I went short up here. Does that sound right? Yeah, about 9. It was after the market, so that's why that didn't make sense. Yeah. So I went short here actually, and I was in profit for a bit. I'm just seeing all that extra volume. I thought that was the market open, but it's not. The market opened here, and I stopped myself out there. Then I went short on this level, and again, a bit like this there, I was up a little tiny bit, but I was waiting for the move back down to the trend line, and I stopped myself out about there. So I was down on 2 trades for the day, and then I was watching the hourly, and as you can see on the hourly chart, this 200 moving average as well, so I had my eyes on that, and I went short there, and look at that, it's a great short. So I think I got in with 2 contracts there because I had two red days in a row, and potentially we were looking at a bit of a upward trend on the hourly, even though the hourly trend is down, but the micro trend is up, and was coming up to here. And I was to be fair, I was expecting it to break down to retest the 200 and push back up, but you know, I want to stick to my levels. You know, you know, my levels are there for a reason, and we had this level from over here as well, which I'm just going to put the line in, and I was aware of this level as well, so I wanted to use this as an entry. So I got in on the 200 and I added just there as well, and as you can see, look at it, just tanked for the rest of the time. So going into the 5 minute, what I did differently today, and what I don't normally do, is add into only to winning positions. So my entry was there, and my second entry was there, and I added when we broke down. So I was only in the green on this trade, always in the green. Didn't hit any drawdown at all. It pulled back, I added, and because I got really I reviewed all my trades last night. I went through the last week and all my losing trades. I had a good week, I had lots of winning trades, but the last 2 days were red. So I went through all the trades, mainly my red trades, and what I failed to identify is a change of trend and then adding to any of my trades. I'm really good at getting into a losing position. For example, if I want to go long here, then I would try adding up here and adding up there, but that's not a very good way of doing it. So, but add into a winning position. So I set a new rule. I won't even add. Say I'm going for this point here, and I'm in there, and it pulls back, and I know that's a good add point. My drawdown will be negative at that point, so I won't even add. I will only add if I'm actually in the green. So add into a winning trade, not a losing trade. I may consider adding to a double top if I see it pull back, but today I'm only adding to a green trade. So my entry was there. I had my second entry was there on that pull down, and my break even was about there. And I added there, pushed down. I took profit, which I don't do, and I knew I was against the trend at this point. So it was a scalp add and a scalp profit take. Then I pulled back. I added again there, came down. I took profit as we come through this level as well, for 45, 34, 25. And I then took profit on the break of this. It pulled down, then it pulled back up, and guess what I added there? Pushed down. I took profit on here. I didn't take profit at the VWAP. I wanted it to break through this trend line. Pulled back up, and guess what I added there? Beautiful add. Pushed down. I added again there. Pushed down, and then I was thinking, oh, you know, we're just taking out the high, but we're still below the VWAP, and we're still below the 20 moving average, and I added right on the trend line there, so a break and retest on this trend line, and then it pushed down. I took profit on this 200, made me a bit nervous, and I took profit here, and then I added again there, and it pushed down, and I think I got, at that point I knew it was coming into this zone area here, which is a level, which is an area I was keeping an eye on, and it came down, and I think I took profit there, and as it pushed up I got all out there, and obviously then I saw it come down. I thought, maybe I should have held on to it, because you know I've got this level here, and look at that, and you know I've only just seen this level. Had I just held on to my runner, because I was still in, so basically I got in with 2 contracts up here. I was at 4 contracts there, down to 3, I think there. I was up to 6 contracts. I added there, took one out, added there, took one out, and I added here. So at all times I maintained a minimum of 4 to 6 contracts all the way down. But I was selling and buying, selling and buying, selling and buying, selling and buying, and then by the time I got out here, I took out everything, all my runners, because I thought we were going to see this double bottom bounce, and then it pushed through, pulled back, and I did think to myself, oh, that's a good out, and I toyed with the idea of getting into a new position here and aiming to go for the bottom of this zone, but I've had a good day, and I don't want to over trade, and that will be over trading. And if you look at that level, my level came straight into it as well, 44, 84, 75 on the dot. In hindsight, maybe I should just leave it to get to my levels with a runner, even though I left one contract and just to push down, because what's one contract up here is miles away from my break even. But it was such a big move, 44, 45, 41, 50, all the way down to 44, 89, 75. I can't work it out in my head. 44, 45, 41, 50 minus 44, say 85. That's a $56 move on the MES. How good was that? And with all the ads as well. So that was a brilliant, as I said, it was a great day, a really good day. And that's what trading's all about, and being not worrying about your red days, just pushing forward, you know. I took 2 red days in a row and I was a bit down, to be honest. Yes, I've not had any red days for a long time. And I had a big red day yesterday as well. And I decided just to make sure I add only on my winners, and to detect and to continue playing a change of trend as well. Really made a difference today. So I still love the reversal plays, and I still want to get in on the trend plays. By the time you know, after my 2 stop outs here, I would only be chasing this run up. I could have probably got in on a break of that, but I don't play breakouts. I prefer break and retest because they're higher probability trades. But you know, a level up here, my level followed by a double. If I go back on to, here we go. So potential double top. I'm not sure I can see it on this 5-minute. Potential double top here, and the 200 moving average on the hourly. It was just too good not to take the short. And I know a couple of traders I was trading with were looking for long plays at this point, you know, break and retest. But in my opinion, that was too extended. The long play should have been back on there. And you know, we do get grind up days. We've seen them. They're the ones that chop me around. But also, if you look at the volume profile, this is the 5-minute chart. If you take away the bigger candles and average it out, you can see we're on decline in volume as it was pushing up as well. And it was looking weak at the top. It was below average volume as well. And so that's the only reason I realised it was probably going to be a good short trade. Like I said, it's interesting trading with other people because we're all looking at the same charts. I was seeing shorts, other people were seeing longs, and on another day, like yesterday, where I was totally wrong, and anyone doing the opposite trade to me would have had a brilliant, an excellent day. For example, here, I was only seeing long plays yesterday, and I had more levels in place as well. I had a level here, I was trying to go long off this level. I had a level, I think I had a level there. That's why I cleaned up my chart, because too many levels, too much distraction. And I was trying to do the opposite trade. But if you just detected the change, and I looked at this yesterday several times, we had a change of trend. So it's in an uptrend. We were trending up all through the pre-market. We made this top, a little double top here, these 2 tails, and then we pushed down, and here's the change of trend. Come down, close that. We came down onto the trend line, which I didn't have that trend line up yesterday. It's obvious really when you put it in. It pushed down, and then this is to confirm the change of trend, a lower high, and we break down through this level, break down through that level. So the change of trend was confirmed, and the market had not even opened. The market opens at 9:30, and by the time we got to here, in my mind, I wanted to go long. 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 And by the time we got to here, and this is my preferred area, I wanted to go long. I was tired, I was exhausted, I was done with trading. I think I went long, but you know, I was trying to go short down here. Can you believe? You know, I was trying to go short, and then I tried to went long, and then went short, and then went long. I was just being chopped up all over the place, and by the time I realised I wanted to go long, I was about there. So I had my stop set below here. I went away, took my kids out, and I got stopped out on the first. I think it's on that wick there. Actually, my stop was that wick there. And this wick here, my stop got hunted perfectly. You know, that is where I should have left my stop, because that is a meaningful place, or this is a meaningful place, but not there. That's just too tight. And you know, these contracts move, and they need a bit of space to breathe. And even if I wanted to use a pivot, I should still give myself 25 or 50 cents space between the pivot, not right on the pivot, because I was definitely eaten up by the sharks yesterday, and obviously I missed out on his amazing move up. The idea was there, but I was done. I was done there. I was done there. I was done there. My day for going long was not a good day, I think. So that's what I was trying to achieve, and I was trying to achieve today only getting in on confirmation of a trend change. So here we go. This is confirmation. So we've got the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, or equal high here, higher high, and then a higher low. That's an equal low. So a slightly higher low, and then we had that little double top pivot there, and then we had a lower high, and we broke down through this level, a lower high through the VWAP, a lower high, a lower low, but it didn't quite break that low. So I think that was probably why I was thinking we're going to go long. And then we had another lower low coming up here, and we did break through that. Again, the market opened soon afterwards, and then we just pushed down. Now the bias was short yesterday, for sure. It was short 100%, but I was just trying to go long. Anyway, that's my rant and raving for yesterday, and so that's the reason why I wanted today to be a better day, and actually look for the trend and go with the trend and try and wait for the change of trend. So that's a great trend. One thing I was watching for this morning in the pre-market, so let's go back to the hourly. Let's just get rid of some of these trend lines, we don't need them there. And so we had this trend line today, and showing us that we're in this bit of this channel, and I was watching, we had this lower low yesterday. So on the hourly we were setting up a higher high, lower low, a lower high, equal, more lower low, and then we had this area which broke through, but look how weak we are. We couldn't even break through the 200. But going back to the 5-minute chart, you can see this lovely 5-minute uptrend, which is why it's uptrending up, and then we had this wedge pattern forming. This pattern here, we broke down through it. CPI came out, pushed up to the trend line, the channel pushed back down to this area. Funny how these areas have been here before CPI, and it happens to touch the top of the demand zone and the top of the channel, so it kind of sets itself up, and it came back neutral for the open, so back up where we started. And yeah, and then one thing to note, something I did notice earlier as well, look at this, for a beautiful pattern. I don't trade patterns, but I do keep an eye out for these ones, head and shoulder patterns. And I was still in the trade when I was adding. You know what? I was aware that we was coming up to this right hand shoulder, and I pointed out the head and shoulders pattern in the trade room today, and it is off the trend line, and so that's why I added up here without any regrets at all, because it just pushed down, broke the neckline as well. The neckline was a 200 moving average, and look, it's pulled back since, touched the 200 or touched the neckline and broke down. And I'm disappointed I didn't leave my runner in place, because I got out here and it was a good out at the time, but we're still in this obvious downtrend all day. We still are at the moment. We're still making new lows, so we'll see how the day ends. I just want to go and have a look at the daily for the second, because the daily is quite interesting. So look at that on the daily. So just so we can see where we're heading to this week, we've got this major area which we're at right now, the tops of these candles. It's been trying all week to get through this area, eating time away at the clock, and I think there's potential with this topping tail as well. Look at that topping tail, it's showing its intention for sure. Possibly it wants to break through. Hasn't quite broke through today, but maybe today or tomorrow is the day. And where is it going next? We've got this major area here, which is the green boxed area. but we've also got this 50 moving average as well. So if I were to put some lines in, I can assure you that on the hourly, so we are looking about there. And what I'm doing is looking at tops of these bodies, and looking at bottoms of this candle. I'm looking at areas of confluence, tops and bottoms, and I've got another area I can see quite nice, which will be about there. And I'm sure if we go to the hourly in a second, so these are possible areas that we can keep a watch out. 44.70 and 44.44. Go to the hourly, and it gives us a nice target if we do break down. So, and that's why I just want to get that in. So these are the areas we've drawn in. So 44.70, so look at that, tops of those candles, bottoms of those candles, and an area of convergence there. If I zoom out, don't want to go too far to the left because of this, and we've got this area here as well, bottoms of candles and tops. So not as great there, it's the candles over here which are best. And then the second line I drew coincides with the top of that candle, bottoms of here and tops of these candles, tops of these and bottoms of these candles, so higher areas of volume as well. So I think that's something to watch for in the next day or two. So going back, look at that, we might be breaking down through this area now. So immediately today, the only level to watch out for is this low of 44.78.25, and that's a potential bounce area, but I think the better bounce area is 44.10 to 44.16 is an area to watch for 100%. And before we go, let's have a quick look at some of the other videos. Look at this, if you look at this pattern on the MES daily, potentially you've got a left hand shoulder, the head. If we come down to here, we may set up the right hand shoulder for maybe another move down, and with the neckline happen to be marked already at 44.20. So that's something to bear in mind as well. So it'd be interesting to see what the next few days brings us, but I do think we're looking weak and we're heading down probably to this area. Look at that, we can't quite get through there. We tried yesterday, the day before yesterday, tried yesterday, and more convincing, and today's even more convincing with this big topping tower. So we've definitely got sellers in place. So lastly, before we go, and look at this, one more thing to note on this chart, we've got this sell-off here, and look at the volume, increasing volume as well. So we've got increasing volume and decreasing volume bars showing seller strength. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the next few days bring. So let's have a quick look at oil. Hey, look at that. So these are levels put in this morning. So we've got this top here, which has been there since yesterday. So today we came down into the open, we pushed up, retested this area which I suggested at 84.20, 84.10, and rejected it totally. So that's a great move. It was 84.10 down to 83. So if you were buying CL futures, that is $1,000 move. That is just that there, $1,000. And we're coming up to this level here, which I said keep an eye out. It's just this tops of this candle, bottom of this candle, and just an average area of these candles as well. And we're looking like it's bouncing, and it's bounced right off that level, and potentially we could see it join back up with this 8 moving average if we're going to continue to trend down, or maybe we might see the 50 moving average curve over, and we may see it just consolidate along there for a bit before breaking down if we're in a downward trend. But it is looking strong if you look at it on the daily. Look at that for an uptrend. So you definitely don't want to mess with this just yet. It's putting a new high as well, so there's no signs of it being in a downtrend. It's above the 200, above the 8, above the 20, above the 50. So you definitely don't want to be going short just yet on this. It's a nice double top though from over here, so but it's a higher top. So yeah, look at that. So if we're considering a short on here, it has to be a change of trend. So you need a day where it needs to come down for a bit, put in a new low and then a lower high, and then break down through it. And potential target could be here, or back down to this level here, this pivot here. So that's a nice strong chart. Let's have a quick look at NQ. So back on the hourly for this. Oh, look at that, it's coming in. It's probably going to get to this level, which was at 15,171 around here. So that's looking weak. Wasn't able to break the top. It tried hard rejection. Here's something to look at as well. Hard rejection areas, and I find these are the best places for levels, and I'm going to go into MES. So look, we rejected it hard here with a big move down. We rejected it hard up here with a big move down. We rejected it here, possibly there, big move down. Big hard rejection here, big move down. Big hard rejection here, down. So you'd think these are levels to watch for. So you've got 15, 7, 14 as a hard rejection area. Maybe if it comes back up, we'll see another big rejection. We've got 15, 600 roughly, this area here, hard rejection. Another hard rejection area. Well, basically a breakdown there. There's a big move down, but that coincides with this hard rejection and this hard rejection. Look at that. Talk about take the staircase up and take the window down. That's what we've done. Take the staircase up and jump from the window and take it down. Let's look at Qs. Qs are coming down to that area as well. It's broken through this supply area now. And our next area potentially is where we're coming into now. And we haven't really got much. Yeah, look, that's in a free fall till it gets to 363, 364. I don't trade SPX, but I do keep an eye on the levels. That's breaking down. That's broken the lows now of this area consolidation. Ooh, where's the pen? That area there, it's broken through that now. So possibly we're going to pull back, come back up, retest it, break down, or today we might see a bottom tail like we've got here, another retest for another push back up. Let's go look at SPY. They're all going to look the same. SPY's not quite broke through the bottom yet, so definitely Qs looks weaker. We've got this area coming into 445, area 444.96. So watch this for potential bounce, but the best area is 444. That's where you want to get in. And why is that? Because we've got tops of these. Let's just move it over. So we've got this demand area here where we consolidated for a few days and then pushed through down. It came back and we retested it. It broke straight through it, came back, and so that's our next area of demand. And you can see by the volume as well, higher concentration of volume at that area as well. So that's an area. 444 is a good area. And then one thing, I'll just go back to the MES as well. So go back to the hourly, and similar to these are the levels I'm keeping an eye on, because look at these hard rejection areas. 45, 41, 50 today, that's a hard rejection area, so keep that number in mind for next time. Off of the 200, double top as well, where we rejected it hard there. 45, 34 area roughly is a hard rejection area. This area is definitely on watch. 45, 60, hard rejection area. In fact, going back to this one, this is a bit like the Nasdaq. It wasn't really a rejection area, it was more of a hard sell-off area. And then we've got this area here, 45.82, as a hard rejection area. I'm not sure how I did that. Control V, here we go. then the last hard rejection area 46.30, and that's a big sell off as well. And not just rejections, look at bounces. So there's a big move back up off of there, but not as big as these big rejections. What we're looking for is waterfall effect. Waterfall, like we said, we take the stairs up, and we take the window down. Stairs up and stairs down, followed by the first floor window. Stairs up, window down, stairs up, windows down, stairs up, windows down. So all that effort to go long, also spread out over 2 days, and it's taken 3 hours to get it back to where it is here. So it's 2 days to go long, and then half a day sold off. 2 days to go long, all this effort, lots of effort being put into this, and then it's taken 1, 2, 3, 4 hours to die. And then again, all this effort to go long and a big push as well, and we've just taken the window straight down. And look at that, we've just put in a lower, we put in an official lower low, so we're still in a downtrend and we've broken that area. But we have got decreasing volume now, which you can tell, it's starting to, big volume there, followed by a big volume there, equal volume but a smaller bar. And then we've got a bigger volume bar here, but with declining volume. But we are going into midday at that point, and it's August, so you have to be careful because you can't judge volume 100%. That's why you've got to use levels, and we've got to use supply and demand and support and resistance areas. Reducing volume and reducing candle as well, smaller candle. So it's starting to wane now, the volume. So potentially we were looking for a bounce around here. And look at this, the volume pushes up, hourly volume increases and the volume increases. And you can tell when you get near to the end because the volume bar is not reflective of the actual candlestick. So we've got small volume bar here with a rather, I'd say, large candle, wide range candle, a bigger candle bar with a smaller candle. Then it's a bit inconsistent. Then we had this larger volume bar and larger volume, which that sounds about right. But then this top one, we had a top Intel bar, but we had extra high volume, but much smaller, half the size candle. So that normally shows as weakness. So when was that? That was Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So yeah, and it sold off into the close. And then that was the post market, the Asian market. And then the weakness was there already from that side. And then we saw this big increase. Here we go, this is what you want to see. So you've got smaller candle. Okay, ignore that's just before 9. So we've got this candle here. Big sell-off candle with big volume. Another slightly similar size, maybe slightly bigger candle with slightly increasing volume. And then a bigger candle with bigger volume. And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see increase in volume on decrease in volume, but bars in proportion. So as the volume increases, the bars need to increase as well. That's showing you that there's the effort is proportional to the volume. And then we had a big reduction in volume, yes, at midday, which shows in the candle as well, half size candle. So nothing unusual, not an anomaly. But then the next candle, we had a bigger candle on reduced volume, less volume. So maybe alarm bells. And then we had this top and tail candle on, let's just clear that, similar, slightly less, similar volume here. And then so the alarm bells should be there already because the volume, there's no follow through the volume. And then boom, big sell off. And if you look at the hourly, and then just have a look today. So we had increase in volume here. So we had a big bar, but small volume bar. So not really, if you compare it to the previous volume bars, that's not quite what you're looking for. So alarm bells maybe, and then a bigger volume bar with a bigger bar. That's about right. That's what you expect to see. Bottom tail as well. So it did look like it wanted to push up. And add this equal volume bar, similar size to the previous one, but on higher volume, and a topping tail and a down candle. And then we add another wide range bar with ultra high volume. If you look at the volume, these are really high volume compared to any other day. And then this last candle at the bottom, it's an indecision candle. The market hasn't decided which way it wants to go yet, but it's on less volume as well. So we can see decrease in volume all coming down. So decrease in price spread, decrease in volume. It shows we're getting near to the end of the push down, but it's a good push down. So let's see what the next few hours, next day brings. Right, that's me done, and hopefully the volume analysis helps as well. And I will speak to some of you today in Power Hour or tomorrow. Okay, take care.